Have you ever dealt with someone who seemed so perfect? They seemed to be too good to be true? Maybe they tell you lots of compliments, give their undivided attention to you, and even shower you with gifts. But deep down, you felt there's just something that's not right with them, and you can't point out what it is exactly. Well, if that's the case, you may have encountered a narcissist. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the early red flags of narcissism that often go unnoticed, but can lead to toxic and damaging relationships. We want to share our insights and help you protect yourself from falling into the trap of a narcissist. Because the reality is, narcissists are masters of manipulation. They know exactly how to charm their way into your life and make you feel special. But over time, their true colors will be revealed through behaviors like gaslighting, constant need for validation, and a lack of empathy for others. And when you finally see their real selves, often, it's already challenging to get yourself out of the relationship with them. But if you can recognize these 6 red flags we'll be sharing in this video early on, you can set boundaries and protect yourself from emotional harm brought about by a narcissist, especially those who are determined to make you fall in love with them. Number 1. Your gut feel makes you doubt that person. We've all heard the saying, trust your gut. And for many people, there is wisdom in heeding this piece of advice. The same is true when you're dealing with people, especially those you don't know much about just yet. We might not have an exact explanation for this, but honestly, you just know or get a feeling when something's off with someone. When you're dealing with narcissists, you'll often get that gut feeling that something's off because everything feels so rushed. They'll try to push things forward fast, and you'll be thinking, hold on, this is moving way too quickly. Something feels off. And even if you bring it up with them and say something like, maybe this is going too fast, I'm not sure about it, they'll shut it down with something along the lines of, no, this isn't too fast. We're soulmates. This is destiny. Whenever you start having doubts about them and your relationship, they're ready with a response that'll make you question your gut feeling about them. They always know what to say, making themselves seem perfect. What's more, they won't give you a second to pause or think, because they'll be constantly bombarding you with emails, filling up your inbox, flooding your phone with calls, and even popping up everywhere you go. They want to make sure you don't have time to think and reflect on your doubts. But if you do feel that something is off, trust your gut. Don't let their words and actions cloud your judgment. Take a step back, assess the situation, and listen to what your intuition is telling you. Number 2. Your relationship with them seems to be moving too fast. We've talked about this before, but it's worth calling out on its own. Here's the thing. Narcissists work fast to build an emotional connection with their victim. From the very start, they'll dive right in, pushing the relationship forward at such a speed that you'll barely have time to catch your breath. They'll move so quickly, to the point that it can feel overwhelming. When you seem to have a romantic connection, chances are they'll love bomb you. That is, they'll shower you with love, affection, and attention in extreme amounts. They'll make grand gestures of their love for you and constantly praise you to the point where it almost feels unreal, but can get you hooked on them. And it's not just about romantic relationships. Narcissists can pull the same moves in business too. For instance, they'll often make big promises and commitments that sound almost too good to be true. Don't let the narcissist overwhelm you with their fast-paced antics. Remember, healthy relationships take time to establish. Number 3. They seem to love the same things you love. Another early red flag of a narcissist is that they seem super into everything you love. But don't be fooled, because it's just a well-planned act. Narcissists have this knack for studying their targets closely. They'll watch your behavior, mirror it, and, over time, even start taking on your traits. They'll also align themselves with your likes and interests, reflecting everything you love back at you. It's like they create this illusion where it feels like you're dealing with a clone of yourself, and chances are, you'll end up liking them as a result. Remember, narcissists spend years perfecting the art of manipulation, often starting in childhood as a way to cope. From a young age, they learn to observe people closely, figuring out how to adapt and shape themselves into someone others will like just to fit in and get by. And over time, they get really good at mirroring others, practically becoming a reflection of whoever they're trying to connect with, all to build trust and deepen relationships. They'll appear to love everything you love to integrate seamlessly into your world. But over time, that facade will start to crack. So be wary when someone seems too perfect or too similar to you because it could be a well-crafted act from a narcissist. By the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. Number 4. They claim you're meant to be with each other. Remember us mentioning earlier that a narcissist will say things like, "You're destined for each other?" Well, that's one of their common tactics you need to keep an eye out for. They'll say stuff like, "We're soulmates, you know," or something along those lines that will make you think, "Why did it take time for us to meet? Where have they been all my life?" And they won't waste any time saying those lines. They'll drop it maybe on the first date, or even before you've officially met. Number 5. They tell you stories that make you pity them. You'll find narcissists sharing dramatic sob stories because they want to get your sympathy and see if you might be a good source of attention for them. They'll spin these seemingly heartbreaking tales to test how empathetic you are to them and whether or not you'll cater to their emotional needs. Perhaps they endured a difficult childhood or faced an unfair life. Maybe their parents failed them, or something traumatic happened along the way, or any story that's guaranteed to break your heart. So much so that you'll pity them enough to want to help them in any way possible. Remember, they'll share these stories to tug at your heartstrings and pull you into their world. Their goal is to trigger your empathy and compassion so they can get the care and validation they constantly crave as a narcissist. And speaking of sob stories, number 6, they make it seem like their previous partner was horrible. A narcissist will often call their ex crazy or talk about them in a really negative way. They'll go on and on about how awful the relationship was, saying that it was traumatic and full of conflict, for instance. And they might even claim their ex is a bad parent, accusing them of alienating the kids or creating a toxic situation for everyone. This is a big red flag early that could mean you're dealing with a narcissist. Narcissists often play the victim in every situation, and this is no exception. They'll paint themselves as the innocent party while demonizing their ex-partner to make themselves look better by comparison. On the flip side, it's a good sign when someone has a positive or respectful relationship with their ex. And if you like this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and we will personally reply to your comment.